we're going to start with the real basic stuff. And here we go. So when you log into Publisher, I'm sure you're familiar with the screens that are out there. Let me just slide this off here. There we go. So I'm sure you're familiar with the screen. It's like anything else in the Microsoft world. You can open, you can create something new. When you create a new piece, this is what you're confronted with, choices for templates. There are many built-in templates that will make life very simple for you. You can simply go in and edit them. I'm not doing anything quite that complicated today. We're going to start with a blank slate. I like this particular format, the landscape format, because most of the things I create are going to be for presentations just like this morning. If I was creating something that I wanted to present on my iPad today for my listing appointment tonight, I would most likely use this landscape format. So since that's the direction we're going, that's what we'll do. Real simple, you've got a blank slate. You can do anything with this that you would want. So anybody using Publisher pieces, or I know some of you may have caught my previous training as I've come around to your offices, my phone call to listing presentation in under an hour, and you've seen some of the cut and paste. What's the most you're doing with Publisher right now? What would be a big use that you're doing? Dave, what do you have?
I've used it for postcards in the past, or even flyers.
Flyers,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say that's probably the top uses that most people have. Tina, I know you're doing some postcards down in your part of the world.
Yeah, and flyers mainly for listings or for open houses.
Okay. So where I see the real powerful piece to be, and I use this all the time, I like custom stuff that I can create very easily to take into my less paper presentation when I'm coming into your house and I'm going to be doing a presentation, again, maybe for a listing. So where I'd always begin is going to be, we can always start with a nice nautical picture. What's better than that for doing your presentations? I see I'm going to have something hiding from me. Just give me a second to find my...
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I'm going to switch off for 1 second. I got to move something around. Okay, that'll work. So what I like about some of the things I'm going to use, we can capture anything that I can see, I can capture for you. And the sequence here is going to be your function key. And you want to look at your top row, and you're looking in the orange text, the little subtext there, for print screen. And this is a powerful key combination because when we do the function and print screen together, it allows me to capture anything I want. So I'm in a tourist theme today because it's Halloween. Actually, I'm there all the time, but good excuse for me today. So let's say I wanted to do something with a screenshot of this particular screen. If I do function and print screen, just tap them together, nothing really happens, but what we've done is taken a snapshot of that particular screen. And when we come back to our blank slate and hit paste, we can incorporate that screen into anything that we want to do. So we've just brought a piece of art, clip art, into our presentation. We can edit this by simply tapping on the right key on your mouse. This little weird looking critter, this is our crop tool. So I like to crop stuff and clean it up and turn anything that I can see into a quick piece of custom art. And now we've just cropped it. We've made it just that standalone piece of art, and now we can stretch it right out and fill our screen and start to build our presentation. So you can't go wrong on a day like today with a nice scuba shot from the Bahamas. So what would be a practical use for something like this? Well, the thing that I like to use the most, and we'll insert an additional page. So you can see we've got insert. We've got lots of choices. When we go to insert a page, it'll want to copy that page, or we can insert a blank. And so now we've just made page 2. And we're going to insert 2 or 3 blank pages. And now we're ready to start adding our additional exhibits. So again, let's say I'm coming out to your home this evening, and I'm going to be looking at your tax record for your property. Simply pop into something like Flex. Each of you have, for your different counties, you know that you all have taxes online in one form or another. In our Flex system for Lebanon and Lancaster County, it's a real convenient system. One of the things that I like very much about it is that I have access to the tax record, but it's going to bring it up in a nice format. And so we'll bring up tax record for a property. In Flex, they bring up the parcel. They also bring up a little neighborhood view, which is really kind of nice. We're going to do our key combination, our function print screen. We've just taken a snapshot. We can come back to our page and paste. And now we're starting to build our listing presentation for this evening. So you're going to see we're going to just repetitively use the same function. We're going to take a snapshot. We're going to paste it onto a page. I'm going to crop the scene a little bit. So I'm going to crop this scene. He said, to get the right handle. And we're going to turn this into a nice, clean little exhibit that I can use for my presentation tonight. Most owners aren't familiar with the tax records online. They're going to be totally impressed that you've got a drawing of their lot, and they have no idea how you did this. But you made a quick little clean presentation piece.
To unmute your line, press *6 or #6.
We're going to get rid of the background noise for you. So we've made a clean little exhibit of our lot, of our subject property, the neighborhood shot. We can go back to our tax information. And if we scroll down, in this particular case, we get the rest of the information too. And once again, we're just going to do a real simple screenshot function, print screen, back to our publication, new blank page, paste, and once again, we're going to simply crop out the stuff that we don't really want to see. We want a nice, clean presentation. Now, once you practice this a little bit, you get awfully quick at it, and you can show up with some nice little presentation pieces. And not only are they nice pieces, but it's great information. And we'll stretch it a little bit to fill our frame. And right now, you know more about the property than your owner does, because you have all the tax information right at your fingertips. Great thing to incorporate. We've got property address. We've got the current tax assessed value of the property. We know it's a two-story. We know we've got 2,800 square feet. You already do all the basic tax stuff. This is just a nice piece that we bring to the owner, and we can demonstrate we've done some research on their property, which in all my years, one of the things that has not changed is they are always impressed by this. They don't know what they own. This takes all the guesswork out, and it immediately puts you in the position that you can be the expert for our appointment this evening. This is only limited by your imagination, what you're going to add to this presentation. One of the other pieces that I always enjoy going to, we're finished with our taxes. Since I've not seen your home yet, I might not have any idea of what kind of a property that you have. And so there's plenty of mapping solutions. You might like Google Maps. I happen to like Bing Maps. I think they're a little clearer. Bing Maps you're going to find used in a number of places, not the least of which is your multi-list. But it's going to give us a nice clear overhead shot, aerial view of our subject, the neighborhood. It's going to tag it for us. We can click that, take it right away. And now the part that I enjoy the most, I can zoom right in and see that I'm getting into a two-story home. He's got a fenced yard. We're going to keep zooming. And one thing that Bing allows us to do in a pretty nice clear format is to scope right around the house and see all four elevations. Right now we can see the type of home that we're getting into. Nice little property. So what are we going to do? A screen capture. We're going to do our function, print screen, go back to publisher, back to a blank page, paste that in there. And now once again, we've got our basis to start doing a quality CMA. We have an idea of the quality of the home. We get an idea of the quality of the neighborhood. And we're just going to clean this up as much cropping as you want to do. But we'll basically get rid of all the junk. Turn it into a nice little picture of our subject. And you've got a cute little exhibit to add to your process. So Mr. Seller, as I was researching your property today, my basis is going to be, my CMA is based on first reviewing the records, knowing that you have a lot that's 104 feet by 125 on average for the neighborhood. You've got a 2,800 square foot two-story home, South Lebanon Township. And I'd say it's a little, probably an average quality home, maybe a little better, but we've also accounted for the fact that we've got a fully fenced yard and we've got a side entry garage, a number of things that we can start to calculate in as we go and look for our comps. So we've got some great little exhibits that we can add. Now here's one of the hidden secrets, I think, of Publisher. All of us know that we can save this file, but the thing that we miss out on all the time is, how would we save it? If I want to send this to anybody, and I send it in this particular format, Publisher format, they're going to need Publisher to view it. One of the things that I believe is rather powerful is I can save this as a PDF document. And now I can email this and save it. I can open it in any format that I want. I can send it to an owner. Everybody has Adobe. They can open this on any computer. It will open easily on an iPad. And so we're going to save it as a PDF file. And that's really all that it does. It's just converted a Publisher file to a PDF, and now I can upload it to Dropbox, open it on my iPad, email it to anyone, and they can pop in and view it and use it. So a real simple solution. Let's say that I like this particular picture of the house for whatever reason, and I'd like to include it as a piece for the multi-list. I'm going to do that same operation, but this time, what if I saved it as a JPEG? I can save it as that JPEG format. It's going to convert each of the pages to a picture file, a JPEG. And once again, just that quickly, we've saved it in a number of formats that I can cut, paste, drop, email, and use any different way that I want. Far more useful than the publisher file. So as we go bouncing along here, now that you're in Publisher and you've got those additional tools, we can start to tag the property. Maybe there's a caption that you'd like to add. You know, check out the fenced yard. Whatever that caption might be, save it as that JPEG, and now you've tagged a picture that we can upload to the multi-list and draw attention to a particular feature in that property. Like I said, I'm going to cover the basics. We're not going to cover a lot of the ins and outs, but how simple would that be? Well, we'll add a text box. We're just going to draw a text box right in here. We can edit that text any way that we want. So why not go big and why not go bold? So let's put a bright yellow text in the front yard of this home. And we'll tell them, don't miss the fenced yard. If we highlight it, we have some tools here. We can just pump up that text till we get to a size that we like. And now we've got a tag on our front yard that we can move around. We can put it anywhere that we'd like. And again, once we save it, we're going to save it in a format that we can use it as an additional exhibit for the multi-list. So we're going to call it our publication. How about tagged publication? We're going to pick our format, which again is a JPEG, save it, and we just created a JPEG of this particular photo with our tagging in place. Makes it very simple for us to create custom features that make sense to us and are going to be useful to us. Once again, I can send that to anybody. I can post it anywhere, post it to the P drive, let the admins add it to the multi-list, and you've added kind of a unique piece that maybe the competition isn't doing. Once again, if you don't like this little street part is bothering me, so the more I think about it, the more I'd like to do without it, because we want this to be all about our property. And we can save it just like that. And once again, we'll save it. And we're going to save it as our JPEGs. And in fact, I'm going to overwrite my original file. And sure, that's what I want to do. I want to save it as this edited file. So just a couple quick steps to turn something into a great little exhibit for you. And now we have a nice clean picture that we can add. Got a little too much street this time, but you get the idea. You can manipulate this and move this as much as you'd like, and it suddenly makes the world kind of limitless. If I can see it, I can capture it, I can make it an exhibit. Now, there certainly are rules to images that you're using, copyright rules and things that you just can't go scrape any image anywhere. So make sure that you're not breaking any rules and downloading and copying proprietary information. The mapping pieces, you might want to retain the Google strip at the bottom or the Bing map strip at the bottom and give them their copyrighted credit for using their map. Map courtesy of Bing Maps would be a good one. So make sure you keep yourself in compliance when it comes to all of those items. The other thing that, let me see if we have any questions from anybody. We'll open up the mic, so watch your paperwork, watch your noise in the background. Any questions from anybody on what you've seen there? The beautiful thing is here, these are taped and recorded, so you can go back and view them at any time. Any questions, anyone?
No, sir.
No? Thank you for the response. Anyone else? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple stuff, but these can be powerful exhibits and tools for you. The other area that I know many of you are working on are postcards. Something that I like to do quite a bit. Many of you know it. I like a postcard that's going to come out. Everything is in place. We print it one time, and my postage is in place. My names are in place. I've set this up so I can peel right through my whole mailing list and make sure that all the names fit in the box that I've created. In fact, I could make them a little larger if I wanted to. And that one just broke the box, but we've got plenty of space. And so what I've created is a merged file for my mailing list here, and I can go right through them, and it's going to show me file after file. I must have messed up my label here somehow, so let's go back and edit that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you right through the whole process of what I've done here. Simply, we have a lot of stock in every office of pre-printed postcards that are just sitting there going to waste. So what I did was a real simple process. The card that I was using was already printed. It had the Jack Gone logo. It had the I Love Referrals. It has the disclaimer at the bottom, which you absolutely want when you do a mass mailing that says if your home is currently listed, please disregard this. I'm not out soliciting business that other brokers have secured. I simply put the postcard on the copier, scanned that back image, and took it and laid it right over the postcard. So the pre-printed stuff that is on the card is right there, and I created a template. So now, all I had to do was create my text boxes in the open spaces, remove the template, and now they're ready to print, and they're going to be perfect when they come out of your printer. All the stuff that I've added will fall right in between all the things that were pre-printed on the card. Real simple template idea, worked like a charm, and we sent out thousands of cards in a matter of days. So we simply scanned the image for the bulk mail. I scanned the template, and we added in our text boxes, and we ended up looking like pros. So one of the things that I hope all of you are doing is creating a client list in something like Excel. And as you're gathering those names from your open houses and your sphere of influence, anything that you do, you want the name and the address, phone number, of course, but also get the email, because you have the ability to do an email merge where this same card or any flyer or any piece that you can create, I can do an email merge. Now, you will need a desktop version of some email client. So a desktop version of Outlook is what I use, and the two talk perfectly because Outlook, Publisher are both Microsoft clients. For our purpose today, we're going old school. We're going to do a bulk mail, and that's exactly what we've set up here. So we've scanned it, we've added our text, we've added our information. We know that we need our office number if we're using our direct dial. And we're going to keep you all online as far as the Real Estate Commission goes, keep you in compliance. So we're selecting a mail merge. As soon as we do that, we get all the choices here. This is the timeline of creating that mail merge. Select your recipients. You can create a new list. We're probably going to use your existing list. So I already had a list in place from a prior mailing. So we're just going to select that. Go away. So we're going to, this will go back and do it full bore. So we'll open our list. It's always going to come up and show you the particular tabbed page. Just accept it. Here's our list. I can go through and individually turn people on and off. Once I've made my selections, select OK. So we've selected our recipients. We've edited the list. Now we're going to insert those merge fields. So you will need a block. I've already created a text box right here. Make sure there's no old data living in there. And now we're simply going to insert a merge field. So it's matched up the names, the column headers. So first name, space, last name, return, insert our merge field. So we've got a house number. We may have a direction. So north, south, east, and west. The street name. We're going to return. We're going to our city, comma, space, state, space, and zip code. And you've just created your merge field. We can go up here to preview our results, and that's what they look like, just that simply. Now we can actually scroll through them and make sure that they all make sense. And so you can see we were mailing to one particular neighborhood. The street's not changing. There it does. But everything fits in the box. It's formatted. We've colored it. We pumped it up a little bit. And we're ready to go ahead, finish them and mail them, finish them and email them, just that simply. You're going to drop them out to your printer, and that's it. You've just completed a couple hundred pieces of mailing with very simple editing work. And the great thing, you have your template, so I can mail it to this group or that group. You didn't print labels. You're not sitting around sticking labels, which I think is a total waste of time, because this will do it for you. So you can automate the whole process and take this from 2 and 3 functions. We create the card, we print the card, we stamp the bulk mail on, or we stick on a stamp. Now we print labels. Now we're sticking labels. You turn this into a whole day project. The only variable in this is, will the printer jam when you start running these? And one thing we know, that there's a fine dust that starts to build up on these cards from the whole printing process where they were created and cut. And your printer wheels from time to time will get dusty and misfeed. So just be cautious of that one. Give yourself a little time to allow printing. And you can turn this into a real simple automated process. And I think turn out a much better looking, clean piece at the end of the day, because there's no labels, there's just no moving parts. And you're going to save yourself a lot of time and maximize the use of our tools. So guys, that's what I have for you today. Any questions on my quick little steps on some powerful uses of Publisher? Questions, comments, posers, anything out there for me?
very quick, when you try to print them, you have to tell them, though, to print it on those 4 cards.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
And so when we do our
okay.
when we do that finish,
Yeah.
we're going to merge them to print. They're ready to go. This is set up in a 2-up format. But if you see here, I'm sending 2 cards to James. That's not what I want.
No.
So your setting, if you look to your left, the setting here, it says multiple copies per sheet. That means I'm printing the same thing twice on one sheet because we know there's 2 cards stuck together that we're going to print. The setting that you want is multiple pages per sheet, because publisher is looking at each record that we've created as a page. And so there are 2 cards on one sheet, and it's a little cryptic the way it is, but watch what happens. We'll select that, multiple pages per sheet. Now we've got Craig, and we have Milton. And that's going to work its way through your whole process, and we can preview those. So we've got Barry,
and that gives me 4.
David.
Sorry.
Well, these are 2-up
4.
cards. So this only gives you 2. These are jumbos. But if you were using a small card, it would give you 4 individual unique cards on one sheet. Absolutely.
Okay.
So the multiple pages per sheet is again the hidden secret in getting these printed and done properly.
Okay, cool.
And you all have your settings and your preferences for your printers, whether you're using the bypass tray, whether you're using tray 3. It's a thicker setting for these printers. I always like thick 2. That seems to get us the best results in Hershey. Without, what you need to do is run it through a little slower, and that's what the thick setting will do. It keeps toner from building up on the drum and then getting weird dots and smears on the later cards. Each card comes out nice and clean for us there. I would say that I've had the best success in all the offices where I've traveled. So when you do your printer setup, again, I get around a lot, so because of where I am today, I'm not getting the proper printer driver. But you would simply go into your printer properties.
Oh, that's right.
You're looking for your different paper settings. So in Basic, I can pick the bypass tray, and then I can go for paper settings in each tray. And the paper type would be thick 2, and you saw that it was already set as thick 2. So I use a bypass tray, thick 2, and that's what my settings become right here. And now I'm ready to go back and print them, and this is where I've had my best success. You may have to tinker with that a little bit. Beth and I have done this for years to nail down this setting for our Hershey machine. Yours may vary a little bit because, of course, every machine is going to be slightly different. But that should give you your short path to quick success and just save a lot of time. I hate to see people standing by printers waiting for these things to run. They're running labels, and they're copying and printing from other sources. Start out with a nice list in Excel and format your publisher file in this fashion, and you'll be amazed at how much time you're going to save yourself. And I don't know about you, but that's what I'm here for. I like to save time and make it as simple as possible. Any questions, anyone?
No, thank you.
That's great.
My pleasure.
Thanks for the tip on the Hershey printer.
Oh, come on, you've got that right there. He should be able to help you all day. But that's been the one where I've had the most success over time with that current printer, and we're all running the same printer copier, so that one should be pretty consistent for you. If you're getting weird misfeeds, you got dirty rollers. There is a super fine dust on these pre-printed cards, and that comes from the cutting and the perforation. So all you can do is run a batch and have the rollers clean. Call the guys in, have them clean it, and keep it going. it's incredibly frustrating when it doesn't print. Right, Tina?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, makes everybody nuts and takes a lot of time. So don't fool around with them, get them clean. Some of those rollers you just can't access. So that's my tip for the day. I appreciate everyone joining in. I appreciate all the views throughout the week. It's fun to watch the numbers move up, and I enjoy hearing myself getting quoted back throughout the week. Watched your video, and I saw this as a tip. If you send in some ideas of things that you'd like to see covered in these spots, that's what I'm here to do, and I'd be happy to update you and keep it moving along. We're going to be covering some hidden tips for home base and other tools that we use in the upcoming weeks. Stand by, watch your schedule. Tune in Thursdays at 10. See you next week. And thanks, everybody.
See you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Thanks, John.